Valheim Path of Magic, an expand world prefabs modified server. It's fully vanilla friendly. And before you rage out on me about mods, what I mean by that is that anybody can join Path of Magic without any mods installed. You only put mods on the server, and it allows you to adjust the experience of everybody who joins. And that's what all this nonsense that you're about to see is. Today, what we're going to be focusing on is the Dvergr traders, because I've been having a blast with them, and recently, last night actually, stayed up late and worked on a patch so that more things are sellable to the Dvergr traders. The idea is that Valheim is a really beautiful, awesome game. And how do we make it more Valheim? Not try and change it and add a bunch of crazy nonsense, but try and get people to play Valheim in a deeper way, add more depth to it without eliminating that Valheim feeling. And I have a feeling it has something to do with these little guys, these Dvergr. They're very Valheim-y, and it's certainly quite easy to sort of incentivize players to have them. The idea is that there's different kinds of Dvergr, and you sort of build places for them. That way, players have more reasons to build, which in general is something I find to be a bit lacking in Valheim. That there's not that much reason to build. The game sort of leaves you to figure it out. You get a roof over your head, you can get a rested bonus, some food, okay, whatever. But aside from that, it doesn't really encourage us to build that much. So, trying to figure out how we can use these Dvergr, make them practically useful for the players, so useful that the players always use them pretty much. And then how do we make a game out of the player keeping the Dvergr safe? And maybe the Dvergr can keep the player safe sometimes. How can we sort of make that happen more? Hello teens, it's good to see you here. I hope you're doing well and having a good new year. May 2025 be better than 2024. And hello whoever else is watching. So what we're gonna do now...
January. Aha.
This is Jake, by the way. Or Shinwi PoM, as he's shown up earlier.
Yep, what's going on? You're running down the path again?
So what I'm gonna do now is go through and find some things that the Dvergr can now purchase. Oh, I forgot to add dandelions, I think. Or maybe I added them. I don't know, we're gonna see. But basically, there's a new mechanic now. So, you can throw something at the Dvergr to figure out if the Dvergr will buy it from you. And there's certain things that accumulate a lot in Valheim, right? Like feathers, great orphies, dandelions, this kind of stuff. Also, bone fragments, that's another big one. Where are they? Here we are. Bone fragments, right? We got loads of bone fragments. So what happens actually is you go to the trader, and it doesn't have to be the trader that you summoned. It could actually be any trader or any Dvergr in the game. That means one that just shows up randomly. It means any trader. It doesn't have to be a specific one. And what you do is you just throw the item you're asking about at the trader, and then they're gonna be like, all right, well, I'll give you, if you give me 50 of these, I'll give you 100 coins. That's what he just said, pretty much, right? So all we did is toss the bone fragments down, and then they respond. If you look in the chat, the Dvergr offers, and then you get a message. If you give the Dvergr 50 bone fragments, you will receive 100 coins. So we can throw any amount that's not 50 at the Dvergr, and we'll get the same offer. This allows players to just toss things at the Dvergr to see if they're sellable. And that's really important, because without that, players have to know about the mechanic. This way, the player can make a sort of game, so to speak, out of learning what you can sell the Dvergr. So you could have some random stuff in your inventory. Let's see. Does the Dvergr buy dandelions? Yeah, the Dvergr does buy dandelions. And it looks like for 50 dandelions, we get 100 coins. So now I've been asking the Dvergr, but let's actually sell things to the Dvergr. We need to throw the full stack. And then there you go. No more bone fragments. And we have 100 coins. Very fancy, right? So I'm just going to do this to all of the extra crap here I want to sell. And there we go. We can see, look at that. I now have turned all of that random nonsense into approximately 1,400 coins, which is great because we're going to need that coin money in order to get more building resources. Because the idea is this sort of loop. You get coins and then you can use those coins to buy stuff to build with. So what I ended up coming to, I talked to some of the players, well, messaged with them. I was thinking about merging these two trading systems in PoM. But instead, decided that, hey, alright, I'm back. Tragic. I don't know why, but my OBS seems to be disconnecting even though there's no internet thing. Anyway, thanks for that. So Teens said, did you remove the mechanic that steals your coins if you have too many? And I actually never put that in the first place. That ended up becoming the Fader loot system, or the Fader summoning system. So in Path of Magic,